What's up, Dunwoody? Welcome back to the podcast. It's all about Dunwoody, Georgia. My name is Matt Weber. The show is brought to you by Dr. Brett Friedman, the Village Orthodontics. Andrew, you know him. This is going to be part 2 of School Board Representative District 1. So I've interviewed Austin. I interviewed Anna. Anna kind of told us a little bit about the position and what she's done over the last, 3.5 years. And now we got an important decision to make, to vote for Andrew or vote for Austin. Both you guys are Dunwoody guys. I'm friends with both of you, which is kind of cool. And so isn't it weird that both of the representatives are from Dunwoody? Does that maybe mean that Dunwoody needs more help?
Well, Dunwoody's the most number of votes. So Dunwoody has about half the votes that will probably end up in the election. And so then the other half of the votes will be in Chamblee, Doraville, and Brookhaven. So that's one reason. So
okay, that makes a little sense.
Just population wise, at least that's what happens.
Yeah. Okay. So I know you well, but if everybody else here doesn't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself and why the hell you're doing this, Andrew.
That's a good question. So Matt, first of all, thank you for doing this, because this is a big thing. This is probably one of the biggest things I've done in my entire life, and I'm taking it very seriously, and I want to do it. And so who am I? Why am I doing this? My name is Andrew Ziffer. I think you've already introduced me, but I'm running for the District 1 school board seat, and that covers Dunwoody, Chamblee, North Brookhaven, and most of Doraville. And I'm here to be your school board representative. It is a nonpartisan election, and one of my big things is let's just take politics out of this. Let's focus on students, education.
I love that.
Yeah, when politics enter the classroom, no one loses. Right. No one loses. No one wins. I mean. So anyway, my kid has been in the school system for 13 years now. August is a senior at DeKalb School of the Arts. We started at Dunwoody Elementary as the first kindergarten class when Dunwoody Elementary switched from a 4th to 5th grade academy. I was on the Dunwoody Elementary Principal Advisory Council, one of the early versions of it. Later on the Peachtree Middle School Foundation, and volunteered there. And then later in life, I got elected to the Principal Advisory Council at DeKalb School of the Arts. So I've been on the governance, I've volunteered or been elected to the governance organizations on 3 school districts. And I've been volunteering ever since then. And, at the start, I was a carpool dad. My wife has always had the 9-to-5 job, and I've been self-employed. And so I always had the flexibility. And so one day my wife told me, go drive the kid to school. And so I said, okay. And so going to drive to school ended up me being the IT lead at the Dunwoody Elementary School PTA.
You were voluntold to do that?
I was voluntold by my wife, but I'll tell you the truth. It was amazing. It was an amazing experience being in my kid's school, helping make the school a better place for kids, students, and just, making a contribution.
And it's a good way to keep up with what's going on too, Like I wrote the school newsletter for like 6 years at Chestnut, and now that I don't do it, I really feel like I don't know exactly, as much as what was going on. It is nice to volunteer. There was too many volunteer roles that I'm a part of, and I had to bail on one of them.
Well, Dunwoody has the luxury of having like very involved parents who support the school, who donate a lot of money. And honestly, that makes a lot of difference to how the school runs and how the school operates and what the school can do. And it's a great thing.
Yeah.
So, one of the questions that people are asking me is like, why are you qualified to do this? And so you and I are both in the same business. We're both in the real estate business.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the commercial real estate business now. I'm a partner at a real estate firm. We've bought and sold about $750 million of commercial real estate. I run the retail practice. So I buy single tenant real estate like Zaxby's, DQ's, Family Dollar, Dollar Generals, and lots of single tenant restaurants, single tenant buildings. And then Greenleaf also buys other stuff like Flex Industrial. And honestly, buildings that look a lot like a school, that have the same needs, HVAC, windows, roofs, large commercial buildings. And so I have a lot of experience with that. And I've got 30 years of professional experience with that. And believe it or not, I'm a University of Florida engineering graduate. So I started out as a software developer when I graduated from college. So you'll appreciate
You've done everything then.
Well, when I graduated from college, I literally a year after I graduated from college, I bought a duplex. And I thought it was the coolest thing that somebody was paying more than half my mortgage. And I said, oh, this is great. And then I had a distraction along the way. I had a long IT career. And then I told my wife one day, hey, I want to go buy an apartment complex. And she said, okay, that's fine. And so I did. And so now, many, many years later, I'm a partner in a commercial real estate firm. And this is how we're going to retire. And, I'm in the right place to do this because we have a company that has 60 employees. I could come in and out of the business as I need to. I have the time to do this, which I think is very important.
Yeah.
And I have the expertise. I look at 20 to 30 profit and loss statements every month. I look at hiring and firing, governance inside the company, and, even important, like making people want to be there.
Yeah.
That's really important.
Yeah, absolutely. What exactly is your job as a school board representative? I talked to Anna a little bit about it, but I still don't exactly understand what is, you don't name the principals, you more of like, it is taking care of the buildings. What else does this job entail?
Well, just very briefly, I mean, the job is it's limited in many ways. So first of all,
very limited. That's what I've noticed.
And you also have to be careful to stay in your lane and also not cause, you can't make the superintendent's life harder than it already is. The superintendent has a very tough job, and your job is to support the superintendent. But ultimately, your job is to approve budgets, approve large ticket items, approve curriculum, approve policies. So approve the things that run the school district, maintain buildings, and a host of other issues that basically govern the school system. So your job is not to go in and tell the principal what they should or should not be doing. If you're doing that, you're not doing your job, because that's not your job, and that actually interferes with the school system. But your job, to me, it's to listen to parents, listen to community members, listen to stakeholders, have conversations with the superintendent about what's going on, and saying, look, this is what's going on in my district, and I want you to hear this. And of course, there's always issues with parents who are having very hard problems in the school district that need to be dealt with, that they don't understand how to go up the chain of command, or they don't understand the right people to talk to. And, hopefully I would be able to kind of just guide them on, hey, if you have this issue, please talk to this person. But ultimately, my biggest influence in the school system will be to have access to the superintendent and talk to him about, hey, let's focus on these things because these things are a problem in my district, and let's prioritize it. Most important, Matt, because, as a school board member, you don't just represent Dunwoody.
Yeah.
You represent all of DeKalb. So you can't just represent your district, because if you just represent your district, you're not doing your job. It just as all high schools, all schools, you need to understand all of their needs before you could act on your own needs. So if for example, somebody needs a new refrigerator in a school, or somebody needs a new roof in another school, that roof has to take a little bit of preference over that refrigerator.
Right.
That's just how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. And from what I've noticed, and I don't know if Anna really said this, but with the new schools being built, there might be some redistricting over the next 4 years. Like if you are elected, so it'll be 4.5 years from now, and there's a good chance there could be redistricting. And so, you got to listen to the Dunwoody parents, but at the same time, they're doing it for a reason. And so, you're going to have to listen to everybody. It's going to be tough.
Right. Yeah. Redistricting is always a tough conversation. And I will say the number one key input for redistricting is always parent and stakeholder input.
Yeah.
We have in 2020, our biggest problem was overcrowding in the Dunwoody district, but that problem has went away and
took care of itself, I guess, during COVID,
which is not good. I mean,
no.
we have two elementary schools that are incredibly overcrowded, which are Ashford Park and Brookhaven, and then also Hightower and Doraville. The schools are incredibly overcrowded and they need some relief. Yeah. But let's talk about, do you know how many students we've lost over the past 4 years? Have you heard this statistic before?
I took one out. I don't know how many.
Oh, so you waved the white flag yourself?
I did. It was third grade, and they weren't sending the kids back to school, and we had to do something. My son is in the gifted program and was, doing great until third grade, and then something happened. He was sitting at home. He wasn't able to write. He was learning to type, and it was just too much. We were like, we had to figure out a way, and so we pulled him. I've got a second grader still at Chestnut, and he's doing great. I mean, we love Chestnut. We love the DeKalb County schools that we've had a part of, but just didn't work out for us in third grade.
Well, first of all, I'm sad to hear that. I didn't know. I've been sad to hear when we lose a kid in school, but I'm glad you still have a
Yeah.
kid at Chestnut. Chestnut's an amazing elementary school.
Yeah, we love it.
If we had to do it all over again, we would have moved to any elementary school in the Dunwoody district. Believe it or not, we moved here in 2006 for Vanderlyn, and then we were immediately redistricted to Dunwoody
Oh,
Elementary. And
that's so good.
we us with a 6-year-old, oh my God, we've been redistricted. Oh my God. But you know
Yeah.
what? Dunwoody
I didn't
Elementary
research that school.
yeah, and it was a brand new school, but it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. We had an
Yeah.
amazing principal. We had an amazing experience for those 6 years. But in District 1, which was Cross Keys, Chamblee, and Dunwoody High School, we've lost 2,800 students. So we've lost about 1,400 in Dunwoody. Chamblee's about neutral, and then we've lost another 1,300 in Doraville. Now we're
That's
losing
crazy.
those kids to private school, to homeschool, to moving out of the district. And like we just lost, you're one of those 1,400 kids we've lost, which is
Yeah.
unfortunate. But we cannot continue that because if the DeKalb schools continue to have declining enrollment in our area, it's not good for the community. It's not good for our funding. It's not good for our property values. It's not good for our business development. There's a whole there's a whole trickle effect around that student loss.
Yeah.
And if more and more parents are sending their kids to private school, our public schools are not going to do as well. And Matt, where you live, are you walking distance to Chestnut?
Yeah. Yeah.
So even if you send both your kids to private school, honestly, you want Chestnut to be a great school.
Right. And that's
Because
where all of their friends go too. And so that was my biggest issue. And I've always went to public schools. I never dreamt of sending my kid to private school. But now that he's there, his friends that he's making, like his best friends are from Peachtree Corners and, Sandy Springs and like all over the place. They're not, my second grader, his friends are in the neighborhood, which I love. He can walk over to their house and play. And it's just different. I would much rather them be with their friends in the neighborhood, but just didn't work out.
Yeah, well, I am sorry to hear that, but I will say that one of the big things I want to work on, and as esoteric as this sounds, I want to create an environment where parents want to send their kids to Dunwoody schools, to Chamblee schools, to Doraville schools. Like I want to create that environment. That's a Herculean task,
Yeah.
but I want to do it. And I also want to create an environment where like teachers want to work for DeKalb, bus drivers want to work for DeKalb, they're paid fairly. So, teachers are doing this as a public service. Teachers are not doing this to get wealthy. Teachers are doing this because they want to be in the classroom, they want to make an impact. So if we want to keep them there, we need to pay them fairly. We need to make them know they're appreciated. We need to make them know that we're going to actually invest in them with professional development. And we want them to know that there is no reason for them to go to another school district while they're here.
Yeah.
And then for new teachers coming in, we want to have the reputation that other school districts have, and then DeKalb County becomes the first choice for those new teachers coming into the district.
Yeah.
We need to create that environment inside DeKalb.
Yeah, we need the best teachers. That's the best way to do it. And it also helps that Dunwoody does have a lot of stay-at-home parents. And so a lot of people that's more free that aren't working, the normal 9-to-5 job like me. And those people are able to volunteer at the schools. And so you walk through the halls of Chestnut and it's Dunwoody North. I mean, it's all of the parents, all of my neighbors. Like I see them when I go to the school, even if it's the middle of the day, like there's always somebody there. And I love that. I love that, that they do want to take part in the school.
Yeah, I mean, Matt, you got to look at it like you and I go to different elementary school districts, but we have known each other for, I don't even know how long we've known each other, but we're, could you even, when did we meet?
Probably when you came on the show a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, okay. So
that's how I meet everybody.
The show.
Yeah.
So we are a community, regardless of the elementary school, we are a community that works together and we want to do community building. We do community building inside of our schools. Honestly, regardless if your kid goes to private school or public school, Dunwoody is a community. And the more parents invest their time, their relationships, and their money in the community, the better Dunwoody will be, the better communities will be surrounding Dunwoody. And you're an agent. The more people are going to pay for houses in Dunwoody that you're going to sell them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
how do you engage with the families? How do you, as a candidate, what have you done to get out there? And then, if you are elected, how do you communicate with the parents?
Well, um, my child loves Hamilton, and so there's a line in one of the songs, "Smile more, talk less." And so honestly, the best thing I could do is listen.
Yeah.
Listen to what's going on in the district. Listen to teachers. We had 4 or 5 teachers over my house one day who shall remain anonymous, and I had a very frank conversation with them about, like, what's the problem in DeKalb? What do you like doing? What do you not like doing? What does DeKalb do that doesn't help you? And they just want to be honestly left alone and taught. As far as what I'm doing, I mean, I'm talking to from sun up until sundown. I'm
I know
talking to
you are.
voters. I'm going to parks. Yesterday, I was giving out popsicles at 2 different parks. I went to a nonprofit fundraiser in Chamblee for the Kyle Pease Foundation, we got to give the Kyle Pease Foundation a little bit of a plug here.
Yeah. He's been on the show
Um,
before.
yeah, Kyle and Brent Pease are amazing people, and you have to get out in the community and understand what's going on, because until you do, you cannot be effective in this role. And so right now, my job is to talk to people, understand issues, and earn their vote, because I'm the better candidate. That is my job right now. And then after I'm elected, my job, if I'm elected, I'll say, my job will be to listen to parents again, and you need to be available to the community. I will say, like, I love our local representative. Our local representative is out and about all the time. And, I compliment them all the time. Says, look, the absolute one thing you are doing 100% right is you are in front of people, you are out there, and you are talking to people.
Yeah.
And I'm going to follow that lead and be available to the community via whatever regular communication channels we decide there are. And then also, honestly, face-to-face communications, however I can do it, because if you're not listening, you don't understand what's going on in the community. And I want to be that person who understands. I want to listen to you, and I'd like to come on the show and we could have a QA.
All right. I'm trying to ask the same questions I asked Austin. So what are the biggest challenges for Dunwoody? Like, I know that Dunwoody doesn't look and feel, and, as far as a price point of homes and all of the different things, like a lot of the other districts, Chamblee, nice area, Dorville's a nice area, but like they're just different than the other districts. So like, how do you work with the other representatives, like when you are in there? It's got to be tough.
The other board member representatives.
The other board member. Yeah.
So, number one, we have the unique opportunity. I have the unique opportunity that I may be on a board with at least a minimum of 3 new board members, possibility of 4 new board members.
Yeah,
so
that's
of the
what
7,
I've heard.
There could be 4 new board members. And so for me, that is a unique opportunity, an absolute unique opportunity. Can you do like a graphic for a reset button right now? Yeah, just a reset. So we have the opportunity to hit the reset button on the DeKalb County School Board and saying, look, we're going to do better. We're going to start over, and we're going to do something different. Yeah. And when you do corporate transformation, a lot of times you don't even know what it looks like, but you have to put some type of organizational transformation in there where the board is together. While they may disagree, the board and the superintendent are a partner, and the board is responsible for making sure the superintendent is successful.
Yeah.
The board is not responsible for fighting amongst each other and bickering and then telling the superintendent he's doing a poor job and publicly disagreeing with him. You privately disagree, publicly support, because if you do anything else, it's just going to be business as usual. You know how many superintendents we've had over 15 years?
Yeah. How many?
It's about 10. We've had 10 superintendents in 15 years.
And we're still paying a handful of them too, I hear.
We've just had to pay off. Yeah, we had to pay off one we almost hired, and we just paid off one that we just hired.
One that we almost hired. Oh my gosh.
And we need to be able to have some type of longevity. If you're in a $2 billion organization, a CEO or a leader of that $2 billion organization can never be successful in a year and a half or 2 years. Yeah. So the DeKalb County school system has been hitting the reset button every year and a half to 2 years with its superintendent. And I will give the board kudos right now for approving the extension to Dr. Horton's contract, because this is,
from what I hear, he's a good one.
I have heard only heard positive feedback about Dr. Horton. It looks great. The approval for his extension on his contract, I believe, was unanimous. So that's positive. And so Dr. Horton could be our 4 or our 6 or 8-year superintendent. And Gwinnett County had a 25-year plus superintendent, and that provided some continuity. But, also think about that continuity doesn't always mean the same person.
Yeah.
But like Dr. Horton possibly should be developing a deputy right now.
Yeah.
And if Dr. Horton is here for 4 or 6 or 7 years, my hope would be that deputy is the most logical candidate to move into that superintendent district, because that's what you do in large organizations.
Yeah.
You build the next leader.
Yeah. And who knows? It could be one of y'all. It could be one of the representatives too,
I don't know.
Not forcing that on you, but
yeah.
You guys would know the ins and outs, and but I've only heard positive things about him, and he came to my parade, so
he came to your parade.
He did, and that was a big deal to me. He was a nice guy.
Are you the official Grand Marshal, or what's your title for that parade?
I'm a co-chair. Me and Penny Foreman are the co-chairs.
Okay, all right.
It's actually more her parade. She actually does a lot more than I do. I'm still learning after 3 years, but yeah, we've almost got it nailed down. But
do you get to wear the crown and the little pole in the front of the parade?
No, our Grand Marshal is David Abus this year, actually.
David Abus.
I thought was a good selection.
Of all the things that has happened in Dunwoody that's transformed a certain area, David Abus has done some amazing things over there. So you talk about economic development. David Abus and his little thing he's existed there would not exist unless Dunwoody was a place people wanted to do business. So you think about that.
Yep. Okay. Well, I think I've asked all of my questions. I guess, what do you have? Anything you want to talk about on the way out?
Well, I
how to get in touch
you.
with you, or I know the
sure.
Early voting starts today, and then the actual voting, or the voting day, is May 21st, correct?
May 21st. So early voting does start today. Please feel free to go to my website, and very sincerely and honestly, I'm saying this, and people may or may not take me up on the offer, but my cell phone number is on the website.
Ooh,
risky move, but call my cell phone and tell me how I can earn your support. You could also, we'll set up a little Calendly link that you could set up an appointment with me to talk over a conference call. We have a whole host of events coming up to meet people. I may be knocking on your door just randomly one day, and you may see me. But I think that I can do this job. I can do this job most effectively. I believe I am in a place where I'm the most qualified candidate to do this, who has the business background and the wherewithal to bring a unique set of skills that may have not existed in the school board before, from a very long professional career, 30+ year career in IT, real estate. And I think I'm ready. I know I am ready to do it and make a difference in DeKalb County schools. And my North Star will always be making a difference in young lives and adult lives in our school system. And ultimately, if you ever ask me why I'm doing this, my North Star is to be able to improve graduation rates, improve the trajectory of where students are going, and give all of our DeKalb County students, regardless if they go in college, technical school, or even job skills training in high school, I want them to have a strong start in life, sincerely, because the workforce and all of these people all these kids that are, and children and students that are coming out of high school right now, are going to be our next generation of workforce and leaders. And I want to make sure it's better than our generation. How's that?
Yeah, that's great. That's a great way to exit.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, Ziffer. I'll talk to you soon, and appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Matt.